Listen while sleeping, and allow the mirror that remembers you to open itself tonight. Play this as you fall asleep, and let the boundaries of time loosen around your name. There is a version of you that existed before the first second was ever counted, before memory belonged to the body, before identity hardened into shape. This audiobook is not meant to be heard with the waking mind. It is meant for the part of you that the world has forgotten, but the mirror never has. As your breathing slows, you will feel the quiet shift around you, like a room that recognizes its true owner. The mirror begins to stir, not reflecting your face, but reflecting the soul you carried long before the clock of this lifetime began. Tonight, while your body rests, the mirror will show you who you were before stories were written about you, before the world taught you who you should be, before the noise dimmed the sound of your original self. Listen while sleeping, and let the mirror reveal the shape of your ancient light. This is not coincidence. You were brought here because the memory within the mirror has awakened, and it has called for you. Allow it to guide you back to the one truth time could never erase. You have always been more than the life you remember. Tonight, the mirror remembers you. There are nights when the world becomes thin, when the distance between what you remember and what you have forgotten grows soft enough to pass through. Tonight is one of those nights. As you lie down and your breath grows slow and steady, the fabric of ordinary time loosens its grip, and the mirror begins to reveal itself in the quiet edges of your awareness. You did not arrive here by accident. Something ancient within you recognized a call, a resonance, a familiar pull toward a truth you once carried effortlessly. Long before this lifetime, long before the collection of moments you call your story, the mirror knew your name. You may think you are listening to this by choice, but the deeper truth is that you were guided here. There are teachings that do not appear until the soul is ready, and there are memories that do not unlock until the mind drifts toward sleep. As your eyes grow heavier, the world around you dissolves into a softer shape. In that space between waking and dreaming, the mirror begins to glow with a quiet, steady light, as if it has been waiting through countless ages just for the sound of your breathing. Feel the air around you deepen. Feel the hush that settles like a veil over your skin. Behind that hush is a place older than any moment you have lived. There is a hall where the first reflections of existence were recorded, not on glass, but on the surface of consciousness itself. You have walked this hall before, though you may not remember it. You have stood before the mirror when you were nothing but presence, nothing but awareness, without form. Tonight, as you slip into sleep, that hall rises again around you. Imagine a long corridor illuminated by a pale, ancient glow. The walls do not age. They do not gather dust. They are carved with symbols that pulse faintly, as if they are breathing with you. Every step you take down this corridor feels both new and intimately familiar, like stepping into a dream you have had many times but could never recall upon waking. This is the corridor that leads to the mirror that remembers you, not the you who learned fear, not the you shaped by expectations, but the original you, the one whose existence began before the first measure of time was spoken into being. You are not broken, you are not late, you are chosen. These words echo softly around you as you move deeper into the corridor. They do not speak to the version of you shaped by the world. They speak to the version of you that the world has not yet touched, the one who still carries the clarity of beginnings. Allow those words to settle into your mind as your breath becomes slower, softer, more fluid. Your body drifts toward sleep, but the deeper part of you becomes more awake than it has been in years. You may notice a gentle warmth forming in the center of your chest, not sharp or sudden, but familiar, like a memory rising from beneath still water. It is the reminder of the self you once were, the one the mirror has never stopped holding. The warmth expands with each breath, spreading through your ribs, your shoulders, your throat, until it reaches the quiet space behind your forehead. Thoughts soften, tension unwinds. You are safe to let go. You are safe to enter the hall again. You are safe to remember. The corridor stretches onward until it opens into a vast chamber where the mirror stands alone, framed by a faint shimmer of light that does not belong to any world you know. This is not an object, it is a witness. It has watched you across lifetimes, across identities, across the countless roles you have worn. Its surface is still, yet alive, waiting for the moment when you are ready to stand before it again. Tonight, as you surrender to sleep, the mirror begins to respond. Its surface stirs like water touched by a breath, and the air around you vibrates with recognition. The chamber becomes quiet, not with emptiness, but with anticipation. You are here because a deeper part of you is ready. You are here because the memory of your true form is stirring within you. You are here because the mirror remembers what the world taught you to forget. And as your body sinks further into rest, the light surrounding the mirror grows brighter, waiting for you to step forward and reclaim the self that existed before time began shaping your name. There is a moment, older than any lifetime, where the first reflection of your existence was formed long before you had a face, a voice, or a name. It was not carved in matter, nor held in the fragile walls of memory. It existed in the pure field of awareness, where who you were did not depend on body, story, or chronology. This is the moment the mirror holds. This is the inheritance it has safeguarded across ages, waiting for you to return. As you step deeper into the chamber, the silence takes on a texture, as if the air itself contains ancient dustings of your forgotten presence. Nothing in this place moves with time, nothing decays, nothing begins or ends. It simply is. The mirror stands at its center, its surface smooth like polished stillness, its existence unwavering. You feel the subtle hum of recognition spreading across your skin, a sensation that whispers you have been here before, not once, not twice, but through countless lives. The mirror is not showing you images from the past. It is showing you the memory of existence before the concept of the past was ever created. You move closer, guided not by effort, but by a quiet inevitability, as though your steps align with a pattern the universe wrote long before you learned to walk. The light around the mirror bends gently, forming waves that respond to your presence. The surface begins to glow with a faint silver radiance, like moonlight reflected on water at the edge of creation. The glow does not illuminate the chamber. Instead, it illuminates you. It reaches into the spaces of your consciousness where forgotten truths have been sleeping, untouched and waiting. There was a time before you were shaped by expectations, before the world taught you how to limit your own light, before the first sorrow etched itself into the contours of your identity. In that time, you existed as pure presence, a field of awareness unbound by form. You were a being woven from clarity, from intention, from pure resonance, and the mirror remembers this. It remembers the luminous outline of your pre-temporal self, the version of you untouched by experience, yet fully sovereign, fully awake, fully whole. As you stand before the mirror, it does not show an image. Instead, it shows an unfolding. At first, it appears as a ripple of light spreading across the surface, then expanding outward like a slow breath. The ripple becomes a pattern, soft spirals of gold and silver weaving into one another, forming symbols you instinctively recognize, even though you have never seen them in this lifetime. These symbols carry the language of before, a silent lexicon embedded in your consciousness. They speak to you without words, without sound, yet you understand them in ways the waking mind cannot hold. You reach your hand toward the surface, and for a moment, the air grows warm. Not the warmth of fire, but the warmth of recognition, the warmth of being remembered. The mirror acknowledges you. The symbols shift, rearranging themselves into a shape that feels like a memory rising to the surface of a long, still lake. You are not here to discover something new. You are here to remember something old, something that has always been part of you, waiting for this exact moment of return. A soft pulse echoes through the chamber, and with it comes the first fragment of the memory you left behind before incarnating into time. The fragment comes not as a scene, but as a feeling. the sensation of existing without boundaries. You recall what it feels like to be limitless, to be uncontained by the definition of a single life. You remember the stillness of being pure awareness, observing worlds without needing to belong to them. For the first time in what feels like eternities, the space within your chest expands as if reclaiming dimensions once forgotten. You take another breath, and the memory deepens. The mirror reveals an image of your essence before you had a story. It appears first as light, soft, and bright, swirling into a shape that resembles neither human nor otherworldly form. It is simply you. The version of you that existed before the first boundary was drawn around your identity. The version that was whole. The version that required nothing to be complete. The version that understood that existence itself was an endless canvas, and you were both the painter and the painting. This memory comes with a quiet clarity. You were never defined by time. Time did not create you. Time only shaped the chapters you lived through. Your essence was born outside of chronology, untouched by the edges of youth or age. The mirror brings you back to that truth, showing you the brilliance you carried long before the mind learned to doubt its own radiance. You sense that this truth is not meant to be understood. It is meant to be remembered. A sudden stillness settles in your body, and your breath aligns with the rhythm of the chamber. It is slow, deliberate, and ancient, mirroring the cadence of the mirror's pulse. With each inhale, you feel yourself growing lighter, as though shedding layers of identities that were never yours to carry. With each exhale, you fall deeper into the spaciousness of your original form, the one that existed long before the body, long before the mind, long before the first moment you called I. As the memory expands, you find yourself drifting into a landscape without borders. There is no sky, no ground, no horizon, only awareness, only clarity, only the soft glow of your own essence weaving itself into the quiet tapestry of existence. In this formless realm, there is a profound peace, a peace that exists not because pain is absent, but because nothing has yet come into being to cast shadows. You float in this openness, remembering the feeling of existing without limits, without fear, without time. The mirror shows you how your essence once moved freely through this realm, unbound by needs or expectations. You see how effortlessly you expanded, how naturally you shone, how gently you wove your own identity into the fabric of potential. In this space, you were not something. You were everything. You were stillness and movement, light and depth, the beginning and the witness of the beginning. The memory feels so familiar, so intimate, that your chest tightens with a longing you cannot name. You realize that you are not remembering a concept. You are remembering yourself, the self that existed before the world shaped the contours of your identity, the self that time could not touch, the self that the mirror has held faithfully, waiting for the night when you would finally be quiet enough, still enough, surrendered enough to see it again. The symbols on the mirror's surface shift once more, forming a pathway of light that stretches into the depths of the chamber. It is not a door. It is not a road. It is an invitation. An invitation to step into the next layer of remembrance, to walk deeper into the realm where your ancient self resides. And as the chamber breathes around you, you understand that the journey has only begun. The path of light extending from the mirror flickers like a living thread, weaving itself across the chamber floor as if guiding you toward a place your waking mind has never reached, yet your deeper self knows intimately. As you take your first step, a soft vibration passes through the ground beneath you, as though the chamber itself recognizes your movement. The air shifts, fragrant with the faint aroma of something ancient, like the echo of a memory carried on the breath of dawn at the beginning of creation. With each step, a sensation rises along your spine, delicate and slow, as if the body is aligning with something older than breath, older than the shape of the human form. The light dimly flickers, then grows steadier, forming a narrow corridor that stretches outward. The walls are not made of stone, nor glass, nor anything familiar. They shimmer with a fluid glow, as though woven from strands of consciousness itself. When you move closer, you notice faint impressions within the walls, shapes that resemble reflections, but not your own. These are fragments of existence before existence, impressions of beings who walked this hall long before stories were written. You glide forward, not walking so much as being carried by the quiet pull of remembrance. The weight of your body dissolves gradually, like mist thinning under a warm sun. Your breath deepens into a slow, measured rhythm that synchronizes with the quiet pulse of the corridor. With each inhale, you feel drawn deeper inward. With each exhale, the world outside fades into a distant whisper. There is no fear here, only recognition, only the profound awareness that this path was meant to be walked in sleep, in stillness, in surrender. The corridor expands into a vast hall, its ceiling lost in a shimmering haze that resembles the darkness before the first stars were born. The chamber hums softly, as though thousands of quiet voices speak in unison beneath your awareness. These voices do not form words. They form presence. They form memory. They form something older than language itself. As you step inside, the hall brightens with a pale, golden glow, and the reflections embedded in the walls begin to move. At first, they shift like shadows caught in a wavering flame. Then they sharpen. You realize the reflections are not of faces or bodies, but of forms of consciousness moving in patterns, like currents of light flowing through the ocean of nothingness. Each reflection pulses gently, as if responding to your presence. They do not startle you. Instead, they welcome you. You sense them acknowledging you, recognizing you, remembering you. A soft breath of air glides across your skin. Though there is no wind here, it feels like being touched by memory. The hall begins to whisper, not in sound, but in sensation, a slow unfolding of awareness rising deep within your chest. You are not simply observing these reflections. You are remembering your place among them. There was a time before time when you too existed as luminous awareness, moving freely through the early currents of creation. You belong to this hall. You emerged from its silence. Your breathing slows further, and with each gentle rise and fall of your chest, the reflections shift to reveal more. They show the moment consciousness first became aware of itself, the moment existence discovered it could form identity from light. You watch these early forms swirl and stretch, weaving themselves into patterns of meaning, shaping the foundations of what would one day become life, mind, memory, and soul. You realize then that you have been carrying fragments of this memory through every lifetime, fragments that surface as intuition, as longing, as the quiet sense that you are more than a single story. The reflections show you how your essence moved among these early currents, how you once glowed with clear, unbounded presence, how you once navigated existence with a grace untouched by fear or doubt. And though the memory feels distant, it also feels inevitable, like recalling the scent of rain from childhood. A shift in the hall draws your attention. The reflections pull backward, making space for something new to appear at the far end of the chamber. A tall archway formed of swirling light. It shimmers like a veil between worlds, thin enough to see through but powerful enough to hold the boundary between what you were and what you have become. The archway beckons you, not with urgency, but with the calm certainty of destiny. It is the next threshold, the place where memory becomes experience. You approach slowly, guided by an instinct deeper than thought. As you near the archway, the air thickens with presence, not heaviness, rather density. The density of meaning, the density of truth long forgotten. A faint glow forms in your palm, and when you lift your hand to examine it, you find a small golden shape resting there. You do not recall picking it up. It is simply here, as though it has always belonged to you. The shape is a key, but not in the way the waking world understands keys. It is not metal. It is not carved. It is made of memory, formed from the essence of your earliest existence. You hold it gently, and it pulses in your hand like a heartbeat. A whisper rises within your mind, not a voice, a knowing. The key unlocks the next remembrance. The key opens the part of you that time could not touch. The key turns, not in a lock, but in your consciousness. You lift the key toward the archway, and as you do, a field of soft light erupts around you, warm and encompassing. The chamber hums louder, resonating with your breath. The reflections gather along the walls like witnesses, shimmering in quiet anticipation. The archway begins to dissolve into a luminous mist, revealing a realm beyond it, a realm shaped not by physical landscapes, but by the architecture of awareness itself. You instinctively step forward. The light envelops you, warm as memory, soft as sleep, deep as truth. You feel yourself passing through the veil, not leaving the hall behind, but carrying it within you, like a chamber that now lives inside your chest. And as you cross fully into the realm beyond the archway, you feel the mirror's memory deepen within you, preparing to show you not just who you were before time, but how to reclaim that essence in the life you live now. The realm beyond the archway unfolds without urgency, expanding around you with a quiet grace that feels both foreign and deeply familiar. There is no ground beneath your feet, no sky above your head. You are suspended in a field of soft, glowing mist that breathes with a rhythm much older than breath. The light that surrounds you is not illumination. It is consciousness made visible, drifting like silk through the air. As you move forward, the mist parts, shaping itself into a landscape woven from memory, intention, and awareness. You take a slow inhale, and the air enters your chest with a texture of warmth, as though it carries particles of the truth you came here to reclaim. With each breath, you sense the echoes of your old blueprint, loosening, softening, releasing their grip on the identity you wore so long. It happens without effort. There is no force in this realm, no resistance. Change flows in the same way light fills a space, naturally, quietly, inevitably. A gentle vibration spreads across your skin, moving inward toward your core. It feels like the resonance of something ancient waking up inside you. You realize that the closer you come to the center of this realm, the more your body responds. Your cells begin to shift in ways you cannot see, but can feel deeply. It is as if every part of you is being rewritten, not by instruction, but by remembrance. You are not learning something new. You are returning to something known. The mist parts again, revealing a vast expanse of soft, golden ground. The surface shimmers with threads of light that ripple outward like water, though it is not water. It is the canvas of your consciousness. It is where the essence of forgotten moments pools. As you step onto this golden plain, a wave of warmth rises from the surface and flows into your feet, moving slowly upward through your body. The warmth carries a message, a simple truth whispered without words. You are becoming. You walk across the plain without leaving footprints. Instead, your presence sends subtle ripples of light outward from where you stand, as though the ground is acknowledging your return. You feel something shift behind your ribs, like a doorway opening inside your chest. You pause, placing a hand over your heart, and the sensation intensifies. It is not emotion. It is awakening. It is the first stirring of your original light aligning with the form you now inhabit. The air in front of you shimmers, and a figure begins to take shape. Not human, not angelic, not anything defined by form. It is a silhouette made of shifting light, fluid and radiant. The figure moves closer, and though it does not speak, you understand instantly what it is. This is the part of you that never entered the confines of time. This is the residue of your eternal self, the version untouched by memory or body. It steps closer, and the outline brightens, pulsing softly like a heartbeat. You feel no separation from this being, because it is not separate. It is the self you left behind in the place before beginnings. It is the version of you that watched patiently as you entered lifetimes, carrying the weight of stories and identities that grew heavier with each incarnation. It is the self that has waited for this exact night, this exact moment, to merge with you again. Your breath deepens. The figure reaches forward, not with hands, but with presence, When its light touches your chest, a soft shock moves through your body, like a ripple spreading through still water. The sensation is warm, quiet, and utterly unmistakable. It is the memory of who you were before time. It flows into your ribs, your spine, your throat, your mind. Every cell opens to receive it, as though each one has been waiting for this signal since the moment you entered the physical world. Your old blueprint begins to dissolve. You do not see it, but you feel it unraveling gently, like threads pulling loose from a fabric that no longer fits who you are becoming. The dissolution is quiet, painless, soft. The weight you have carried, wounds, doubts, fears, expectations, slips away one layer at a time. You feel it leaving you without regret, without resistance. It fades like ink dissolving in warm water, dispersing into nothingness. As the old fades, the new begins to take shape. The figure of light moves behind you, forming a gentle glow that wraps around your shoulders, your spine, the back of your head. Its presence is steady and grounding, a reminder that you are not being transformed into someone else. You are returning to the truth of who you were before the world named you. The new blueprint forms inside your chest as a small, glowing sphere. It pulses with a slow rhythm, matching the rise and fall of your breath. The sphere grows with each inhale, expanding into your ribcage, filling the space behind your sternum with warmth. With each exhale, it releases a soft wave of light that flows through your arms, your legs, your spine, your skull. The waves move through your cells with purpose, rewriting the patterns that once defined your sense of self. Every thought etched into your consciousness by the world begins to soften. Every doubt begins to loosen. Every limitation begins to dissolve. You are safe. You are chosen. You are remembered. These words rise gently from within the sphere, echoing through your body like a comforting resonance. You do not hear them with your ears. You hear them with your existence. The sphere pulses brighter, sending a new wave of warmth through your chest. You feel it moving downward into your abdomen, upward into your throat, outward into your shoulders and arms. The light settles into your bones, like an ancient memory returning to its rightful home. The golden plane around you begins to shift, forming soft waves beneath your feet. The realm responds to your transformation, adjusting to the light blooming inside your body. The figure behind you places its presence gently into your spine, and you feel a vertical line of warmth rising slowly from the base of your back to the crown of your head. The line glows, bright and steady, anchoring your new blueprint into your physical form. The air thickens again, but not with weight, with meaning. You feel the sphere in your chest expand until it reaches the edges of your skin. Then it expands further, forming a luminous halo that encompasses your entire body. The halo pulses slowly, synchronizing with the rhythm of your breath. You stand still, feeling the merging complete. The version of you from before time is no longer separate. It is here. It is within. It is you. You take a slow inhale. The halo brightens. You exhale. The halo deepens. Your body feels lighter than ever, yet grounded in a way that surpasses understanding. You realize the transformation is not simply occurring around you. It is occurring within each cell, each thought, each memory. The old versions of yourself, the ones shaped by fear, by doubt, by the weight of time, fade like shadows in the presence of dawn. You are not waiting. You are becoming. The realm shifts again, and a doorway of pure light forms ahead of you. It does not lead backward. It does not lead forward. It leads inward. It leads to the next layer of remembrance, where your transformed essence will begin to integrate, anchor, and breathe within the world of form. You step toward the doorway, and the halo expands with you, surrounding you like a cocoon of warmth. The sphere in your chest pulses steadily, ready to guide you deeper. You cross the threshold with quiet certainty, knowing that the journey is far from over, and that the light now alive within you is only beginning to reveal its true magnitude. You feel your body soften further into sleep, while your deeper self opens wider into awakening. Beyond the doorway of pure light, the landscape shifts with a slow, deliberate grace, as though the realm is preparing itself for the truth it is about to reveal. The mist thins into long, flowing currents that drift across an ageless horizon. The air grows still, yet not empty. It feels like standing in the quiet breath of a story no one has ever spoken aloud. You step forward, guided not by sight, but by the subtle pull of recognition rising within your chest. The light from your new blueprint glows faintly beneath your skin, illuminating your path from the inside out. A soft sound emerges from the distance, a low hum that vibrates like the earliest echoes of creation. The hum is neither music nor voice. It is something older, something woven into the very fabric of awareness. As you walk, the ground beneath you begins to form, a smooth expanse of pale stone that seems carved not by hands, but by intention. Symbols faintly shimmer along its surface, glowing in rhythmic pulses that mirror the beats of your heart. You approach an enormous arch rising from the stone, taller than memory, wider than possibility. The arch is made of a material that resembles glass, but it is not glass. It breathes. It shifts gently, bending toward you with each step, acknowledging your presence. At its center hangs a thin veil of silver light, swaying as if stirred by an unseen wind. Behind the veil lies a darkness so deep it holds its own gravity, yet you do not fear it. The darkness calls to you like a familiar silence, one you once knew intimately. You reach a hand toward the veil, and as your fingers graze its surface, the light ripples outward in widening circles. The circles expand until the entire arch pulses with a soft glow. Then, from the heart of the darkness, a figure begins to emerge. It steps forward slowly, as though remembering the shape of movement. The figure is tall, framed in a radiance that resembles moonlight filtered through ancient water. It carries no face, no form, yet its presence fills the space with a quiet, undeniable authority. You instinctively understand. This is the Keeper, not a guardian in the way your waking world defines guardians, not a protector formed of duty or defense. This being is the custodian of remembrance, the one who holds the names that were spoken before time, before identities were carved into flesh and experience. The Keeper exists to preserve the truth you once carried effortlessly, the truth you set aside when you entered a world of beginnings and endings. The Keeper approaches, and the darkness behind it recedes like an obedient tide. Its presence moves across your skin like a whisper, brushing along the edge of your awareness. The figure inclines its head, acknowledging the return of something lost. It does not speak with sound. It speaks through resonance, through a direct transmission that vibrates through your mind and settles into your chest. You have come back to the place where your first name was born. The moment the message enters you, the realm responds. The symbols on the pale stone flare into brilliance, shooting long beams of light across the horizon. The arch expands, stretching wider, as if preparing to reveal a truth too vast for a narrow gate. The Keeper raises its hand, an extension of light, and the veil dissolves completely, revealing a vast hall carved into the darkness beyond. The Hall of Unwritten Names. You step inside without hesitation. The hall is immense, its ceiling rising into shadow, its floor stretching farther than sight. Along both sides stand towering monoliths of translucent stone, each etched with symbols that shift in slow, fluid patterns. These symbols are alive, remembering, dissolving, reforming. They are not words, they are identities, embodiments of essence, the names that existed before the alphabet of time was conceived. The Keeper glides beside you, its presence steady and calm. With a gentle motion, it directs your attention toward one of the monoliths. As you approach, the symbols carved across its surface brighten, rearranging themselves with slow deliberation. They twist, coil, unfold as though waking from a long slumber. A subtle hum vibrates through the stone and into your body. The symbols shift faster, gaining brightness until they settle into a shape that glows like a small, radiant sun. The shape is not a word, but you understand it instantly. It is your name, The name you carried before the world gave you another. The name not spoken by tongue or written on paper. The name encoded in the first breath you ever took outside of time. When the recognition strikes you, you feel your chest tighten with a gravity you cannot describe. You reach toward the glowing shape, and as your fingers hover above it, the symbol leaps from the stone and enters your palm like a spark. It does not burn. It melts into your skin, then into your blood, then deeper, traveling through the corridors of your body until it finds the center of your chest. The sphere of light in your heart responds instantly, expanding with a bright pulse that fills the hall in a wave. The keeper watches silently as the light settles into your form. It then guides you forward, deeper into the hall, to a circular chamber surrounded by smaller monoliths. At the center of this chamber stands a single pedestal, holding a mirror unlike the one you first encountered. This mirror is darker, deeper, its surface swirling with a density that resembles liquid night. You realize this is the root mirror, the origin of all reflections. The mirror that does not show your face, your body, your story. It shows your truth. You step toward it, and the darkness within its surface stirs, forming a slow vortex. You feel a faint pull in your chest, as though the mirror is drawing something from you, not taking, but awakening. The keeper rests its hand near your shoulder, a silent reminder that you are not here to observe. You are here to reunite. You take a breath. The vortex clarifies, and then the mirror reveals you. Not the you who walked through lifetimes, not the you shaped by hope, loss, desire, or longing. Not the you who learned the language of the world. This is the unaltered self, the luminous consciousness that existed before time lifted its pen, before memory hardened into identity, before experience cast shadows across your perception. Your original form stands before you, radiant and vast, woven from strands of light and intention. Its outline shifts gently, like a flame moving through still air. It carries no weight, no story. It carries only truth. The truth of who you were before time taught you how to forget. The mirror deepens its glow, and your original self raises its hand, touching the inside surface of the reflection. You lift your own hand instinctively. When your fingertips meet the vortex, a burst of warm light shoots through your arm, down your spine, into your legs, your throat, your chest. The warmth grows, intensifying until your entire body vibrates with a frequency you have not felt since the beginning of beginnings. Your old form dissolves. Your original form steps forward. You feel them merging, not as two beings colliding, but as a singular truth reclaiming itself. The mirror pulses once, twice, then shatters soundlessly into a wave of darkness that washes over the hall, erasing all boundaries. For a moment, you are everywhere. You expand into the pillars. You stretch across the horizon of the hall. You rise into the shadowy ceiling. You contract into the quiet spark within your chest. You become the memory. You become the name. You become the light that remembers itself. When the wave clears, you stand alone in the chamber, transformed. The keeper bows its head, acknowledging that the journey it oversees is complete. The monoliths dim, their duty fulfilled. The hall recedes into mist. A soft wind rises from nowhere, carrying with it the quiet message that the final part of your journey is waiting. The path behind you dissolves. The path ahead brightens. You take one last look at the place where your original name was reclaimed, and then you step forward, ready to return to the world as the self who remembers. The realm fades gently, dissolving like mist touched by the warmth of morning. The chamber, the keeper, the hall of unwritten names all retreat into the quiet distance of memory, not disappearing, but returning to the place they have always lived, within you. Your breath moves softly now, steady and unhurried, the rise and fall of your chest guiding you deeper into the kind of sleep that rewrites the spaces the world once filled with noise. The light inside your chest glows with a slow rhythm, pulsing in harmony with the calm that spreads through your limbs. Every inhale widens the sense of spaciousness surrounding your body, and every exhale carries you further into a quiet that feels older than silence itself. The transformation is not dramatic. It is gentle, subtle, inevitable. It unfolds like dawn moving across a horizon, like the first ripple forming on still water. You are not forcing anything. You are allowing what was always meant to happen. The memory of your original self remains bright in the center of your being. It lingers behind your ribs like a warm ember, one that does not fade as you fall deeper into rest. This ember is the seed of your true form, the beginning that existed long before time, long before identity, long before the world wrote its name across your life. Tonight, that ember expands, glowing softly through your body, touching each part of you with the warmth of recognition. You feel it in your spine, in your throat, in the quiet space behind your eyes. You feel it moving like a tide, rising and falling in gentle waves. You are safe. You are chosen. You are remembered. The words settle into your mind with the weight of truth. They do not need to be repeated, yet they echo softly within you, aligning themselves with the rhythm of your breath. The old patterns fade like distant echoes, dissolving into the quiet field of light that surrounds your body. You feel the remnants of your previous blueprint slipping further away, as though they no longer have a place to anchor themselves. You are not shedding who you were. You are returning to who you have always been. Your breath deepens. The warmth spreads through your chest. The light inside you grows softer, then deeper, then softer again. It takes the shape of the ancient memory you reclaimed, the memory that holds your true name, your true presence, your true rhythm. In this state of gentle descent, your body relaxes completely. Your shoulders loosen, your jaw softens, your hands grow warm. The space behind your heartbeat becomes calm and wide, like an untouched horizon stretching out beneath a quiet sky. Tonight, you sleep not as the version of yourself shaped by the world, but as the version shaped by truth. Tonight, the mirror's remembrance continues to unfold within you, working through layers of mind and memory that only reveal themselves in the depth of sleep. As your breathing steadies, the transformation continues silently, writing itself into the spaces of your thoughts, into the patterns of your emotions, into the quiet blueprint of your being. You are safe, you are chosen, you are remembered. The words drift through your mind again, softer this time, like a whisper woven into the air around you. They do not demand attention. They simply rest gently in the center of your awareness, guiding you deeper into the sleep that heals, rewires, and awakens. As you drift, you feel the subtle expansion of light beneath your skin, the gentle reordering of your inner world. There is no rush, there is no effort. The process knows exactly how to unfold. You only need to rest. The night grows deeper. Your breath becomes the softest motion in the room. You feel yourself slipping further into the space where dreams are born, where memory becomes shape, where truth becomes presence. The realms you traveled through begin to settle into your subconscious, not as stories, but as foundations. They become part of the structure of your being, part of the quiet architecture the world cannot see, but your soul has always known. You drift further. The warmth becomes softer. The light within you becomes steady. You feel held, supported, understood. You feel as though the universe itself has wrapped you in a calm so deep it exists beyond words. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to solve, nothing left to recall. The mirror remembers for you now. It holds the truth so you may rest. Sleep now. The code is rewriting. The memory is settling. The transformation continues even as your body falls into silence. You are returning to the beginning that has always belonged to you. And as you drift into sleep, the story continues within you.